again. They were really gracious last year. We had a great time, and we will do it again. I'm working on the third novel. I'll be here again. So watch for your email. And I appreciate you taking time out in your busy schedule. I know that a lot of us work, most of us work, and it's hard. It's hard to do something different right after work. You just want to go home and take your shoes off and do whatever. So I appreciate you coming, but I think there's a real reason why you came, and that's because you don't want to watch Hillary and Mr. Trump this evening. You have heard enough of that, so this is a good little respite for that.
That's right.
Also, who am I?
I'm sorry.
I am T.L. Henry, and how did I get here? Well, first of all, I'm a mom. I have 3 girls. They're older. And I'm a wife. My husband's in the other room taking money.
You okay?
And I'm the primary caregiver of my 86-year-old father. I'm a dental hygienist and a writer. So how do I do it? Writing is the easiest part. Except for being married, because I know he's listening. So we'll put that in there. So how did I become a writer? Well, my husband was working overseas back in 2008, and he called me one day, or he would call me often, but one evening he called me and he said, "What have you been doing with your time?" Because I had more time on my hands. And I said, "Well, I think I want to start a book club." And he said, "Ooh, a book club?" I said, "Yeah, a book club. You read a book and your friends, you talk about it. And you talk about the characters and what they're doing and why the writer wrote what they wrote." And he said, "That's awful. Why would you do that?" And I said, well, he was overseas and in Iraq, so of course he had more interesting things to do. But I said, well, I think it sounds great. He said, "You know what? You've always wanted to write a book. Why don't you write that book?" And I said, I got smart. And I said, well, maybe I will. So I got off the phone and sat down with my computer, and about an hour later I had the first chapter written of this book, Meadowbrook Summer. And I don't know how it happens. If I knew where to go to get ideas, I would go there all the time. But I don't know where to go. It just kind of comes in and out. It just comes right out your fingertips. So you ought to try it sometime. I bet all of you are writers and just don't know it. So, fast forward, that was in 2008. This book was published in 2009. So, fast forward to 2015. I took a little break from writing. Writing can be very expensive, actually. Marketing is even more expensive. So, when the bottom fell out of the economy, I didn't write again until 2015. That's when my dad fell ill. And a friend of mine said, "You know what? You got the time. You better start writing again." And I said, "I'm going to do it." So I sat down and I wrote Secrets I've Been Keeping. And a lot of this book was actually written in my dad's room. So he's still alive, he's still here. But a lot of this was written in his room, and I'd say, "Dad, what do you think?" And he would crack up, and if he would laugh, I knew I needed to keep it. I knew it had to be in here. So a lot of the humor in this book, I ran past my dad first. It was supposed to be romance, a lot of romance, but it came out to be romance drama. There's a ton of humor in this book. So a lot of you have already read this book. So what do you think? Did it have some funny stuff in it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's a family in this book that kind of snuck in. I'm writing, and then I thought, oh, there's this family. They drive up in this van. Somehow I kind of saw this family drive up this driveway, and I went, oh, here we go. So it's a family that lives in a trailer park. Nothing against trailer parks, but they just don't really fit into where they want to live. So that's where the humor comes from, is that they want so badly to live in this affluent community. And do you sell to them? Absolutely, you sell to them. They've got the money. You got to sell them the house, and they end up having a great time. So at any rate, this is romance, but it's also drama. And then Secrets Revealed is the second in this series. So there's Secrets I've Been Keeping and Secrets Revealed, book 1. This is book 2, and I'm working on book 3. But Secrets Revealed was just released about probably 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. And there's a character in Secrets I've Been Keeping that experiences a tragedy. And she's a side character. She experiences a tragedy, And a lot of people said, I gotta know more about Laurel. What about Laurel? What happened to Laurel? And I thought, I better write a book about Laurel. So, this book is about Laurel. What happened to her, how it happened, why. Does she get revenge? So this is suspense romance. She does fall in love. So, whether or not they stay in love, I don't know. Gotta read the book to find out. But so I'm just gonna read a little bit from Secrets Revealed. Laurel happens to have a boss that she's not really fond of, but she kind of has to keep her job. So let's see. Who has that not happened to? All right. About 15 years older than I am, Mr. Levy holds his gaze on me longer than necessary to answer my questions. His hair is dark and thick, but not the kind you want to run your fingers through. Because it's his hair, you would be more apt to get a handful at the nape of his neck and pull real hard. Hard enough to make him remember your strength, making him aware that you are not the type to be pushed around. I push him out of my mind and begin making entries on my computer. I hear a knock at the door. Come in. Mr. Levy walks into my office and closes the door behind him. I feel the hair stand on the back of my neck before I ask him to please open the door a bit. He actually opens it. I calm down some, and in my most professional tone I ask, what can I help you with, Mr. Levy? He holds his eyes on me, and I shift in my chair. I'm wondering if I can take you out to dinner tonight. I smile and look down and look back up at him, Mr. Levy. He interrupts. Please call me Michael. I remind myself to breathe. Okay then, Michael, you happen to be my boss, and I don't think it's a good idea to be going out to dinner with my boss, especially if it's a date. His face turns red. He sarcastically says, I wasn't asking you to go on a date, Laurel. I was asking you to go to a simple dinner. I can feel the tension in the room. I'm sorry if I offended you, Michael. That was certainly not my intention. However, with that being said, I would not feel comfortable going to dinner with just the two of us. He stares at me, looks away, taps my desk with his two fingers, and walks toward the door without a word. He closes the door with a thump, and I let out the air that I've been holding in my lungs. What was he thinking? Did he really think I was going to go out with my boss? Has he lost his marbles? Absorbed in my work, I can hardly believe it's time to leave for the weekend. I take the elevator down to the parking garage. As I touch the key fob to unlock my door, I see movement in the reflection of the side of the door window. Turning to look behind me, I see Michael. My heart starts to pound, and I know he must hear it thumping loudly. I say hello, trying to stay calm as he walks closer to me. I grip my keys tightly with the metal point sticking out between my fingers as my only defense. Laurel, I want to apologize for the way I acted. I should have thought about what it would look like before I asked you to dinner. Will you accept my apology? Shaking and still nervous, I'm barely able to answer him without my voice trembling. I accept your apology, Michael. He smiles. Can I have a hug then? You will have to read on yourself. And then this
Dirty old man.
Those poor guys. There's some really sweet guys out there.
Oh, yeah.
There are. I'm married to one. All right.
Not a dirty old man.
No. In this next chapter, in chapter 3, is some of the humor for Laurel, and she goes to her favorite hair salon, and she learns a little bit. She learns a little something about Mr. Levy, Michael, while she's there. Opening the door to the salon, I see Jamie waving his hands in the air while talking to another stylist. He sports black pants and a Marc Jacobs black shirt with a magenta and blue scarf. He glances at the door and sees me entering, so he puts his hand on his colleague's shoulder, says one more thing, and speed walks his way over to greet me. I can hear his voice over the hair dryers, the chatter and the music as he leans in to kiss my left and right cheeks. Hello, love. It's so nice to see you. How has life been treating you, Before I can even answer, he takes my hand and whisks me over to Monique, who has me change out of my blouse and into a kimono-style client gown before I get my hair washed. I quickly sit down, a cape placed around me. Before I know it, I'm laying back with my hair under warm running water. Wow, am I twisted. As the scent of botanicals wafts around me, I find myself relaxing. I wait for Monique to comment on how thick and curly my hair is and ask how I find the energy to take care of it on a daily basis. She mentions that every time she washes it, after squeezing the excess water out of my long strands, she applies conditioner, which has the same fragrance as the shampoo, and once again I'm surrounded by the scent of botanicals. After my rinse, the water no longer running, she asked the inevitable question, Laurel, how is it possible that you take care of your hair on a daily basis? Before I can answer, she whisks me away to the salon chair where Jamie waits with his comb. It's a busy place, isn't it? Hello, love. He takes off one cape and replaces it with another. Hello, it's nice to see you. He begins to comb through my hair and immediately starts to work his magic on my curls. He cuts my hair in long layers, which gives it shape and personality. He asks me about my employment and how things are going with Mr. Creepy. That's what she named her boss, Mr. Creepy. I plan to keep my auto, my flat, and my freedom, so I found a way to deal with the weirdness. Besides, I have to work there long enough to earn a nice line on my resume, so I really don't have a chance. Jamie nods in agreement. Hearing the door chime, he looks over to see who's walking in before leaning over to comment. Well, 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 would you look at that? Walking plastic is entering the salon. Out of curiosity, I turn around in my chair, gliding through the salon. Gliding through the salon entrance is a medium-height woman.